review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is the owner of the website. If you care to listen, no other than Gabriel Starsnick.
Hello.
Welcome to Book 101, Gabby. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
Yes, so my name is Gabby. My this is my website here if you care to listen, and that is my stage name, as well as my brand and my movement, which advocates for mental health and suicide prevention, two things that touch very close to home for me. And this movement, if you care to listen, I have decided that 10% of all my merchandise profits that we are working on right now, such as t shirts, 10% is going to go to nonprofits or foundations that help combat suicide and help with mental health advocacy.
Well, definitely we salute you, Gabby, for doing this. Thank you so much for sharing or empowering people all over the world. So tell us, what is a mental health?
Mental health is it could be, depression, anxiety. It comes in different forms. And mental health is just taking care of that time where you might be in a low and you're feeling down, and to really advocate for that and get the help that I think it's advocating all starts with yourself. If you can advocate for yourself, that is so important, whether it's, mentally you're not doing well, reaching out to peers, reaching out to friends, and letting them know what's going on. So mental health is just an all encompassing thing that really goes to with your brain, and if you're how your brain just
Functioning.
sorry, mental health just means so much to me. It's just it I get almost emotional talking about it, cuz I have struggled with my mental health, and I think everyone just really
No
needs to
worries.
advocate for themselves. Yes.
No worries, Gabby. So, how do you recognize when your mental health is declining?
Right? So I mean, for me, I think it takes forms for different people. For me, it's I become almost like a hermit. I don't really go outside. I don't see the sun. I stop talking to my friends. I kind of close myself off to everyone. And that's could also come in other forms, right? Just having negative thoughts about yourself. It could be about your body, your self worth, and yeah, it just is different from for all types of people, but those are some things that I recognize in myself.
So, what are some things that help you maintain good mental health on a daily basis?
Oh man. For me, I love songwriting. If you listen to any of my music, it is my journal to the world, what I've gone through, what people that are close to me have gone through. Um, yeah, and then also I love backpacking and working out, because it releases dopamine and just gets me going in the morning. And then after work and school and everything, just coming home to write a song and put all my emotions on the table. Just that's what really helps me.
So, Gabby, do you feel comfortable talking about your mental health with others?
I do, yes.
Why or why not?
Um, I think that if I have a voice, and if I can speak about my journey and my mental health, that will help others be more comfortable to talk about their mental health. just to be more open to talk about our journeys, because some days are tough, and sometimes you just need to vent to someone. So talking about it is so important.
Definitely, yeah, totally agree. Gabby, so what are some common misconceptions people have about mental health?
Misconceptions about mental health, that you're less than if you have worrisome thoughts. Um, it's kind of not a misconception, but it's taboo to talk about your feelings and what you've been going through. So to break down that barrier and just talk about it, I think the stigma of mental health has gotten a lot less in the last 5 or 10 years. So I think that's amazing, but there's still that wall, that barrier. And I can't speak for them, but I know a lot of men in my life. There's this whole like you have to be manly and you have to do things a certain way, and that's what they tell me how they feel, and I'm like, no, like it's okay. Like we are all in this together, and
True.
just thank them for sharing that with me.
It's okay, people. So, how does your environment, homework, or social circles impact your mental well being?
Well, I mean, if you think of yourself as like a plant, let's say a flower, if you're in a rugged environment and like a flower, right? A good environment for a flower is something with sunshine, rain, good soil, things like that. So if your environment is just chaotic a lot, it doesn't allow you to grow. Um, so just changing your environment. I have this line in my song. It says, "Change your perspective to change your view." And when you think about it, it's like, okay, well that's like perspective and view is the same thing. But in reality, they're very different. Your perspective is how you see things. Your view is more physical in my idea of writing. So if I change my perspective and change how I think about something, I will therefore literally physically change my view.
Hmm. So, what role do sleep, diet, and exercise play in your mental health?
In my mental health, nature, diet, and exercise plays a huge role. Exercise releases dopamine, which is, one of the happy drugs in your brain. If I'm not mistaken, I'm
Yes,
not an
true.
expert, but nature also is one of those things that just, I think for me, nature is. I live in San Diego, so there's a lot of noise. It's very busy, and to step away from it all and encompass myself in like pure silence, like you can hear the leaves rustling in the wind or the chirping of the birds. um, just that silence and that peace that I find is so incredible. I often go out to it. I get inspired by nature, and I go out and I'll just sit for a little bit and I'll write something that comes to mind. And then my diet. What's that saying? Like you are what you eat,
Yes,
right?
true.
So
True.
So if you're feeding your body unhealthy foods, you're not going to feel great. I mean, you might have that instant gratification, like, oh yeah, I'm going to eat this whole pack of Oreos, but maybe that's not the best idea. You are what you eat, and I can say that I feel so much better when I, I eat healthy and I don't, you know, eat unhealthy things. Everything that I eat is fuel for my body and my mind. So if I can put healthy things in, I was in the military for a little, and we had a saying like, you put good crap in, you get good crap out,
Yeah.
and that's yeah.
Totally agree. Gabby, so Uh, let's talk about the mental health awareness in general. Have you ever experienced burnout and how did it feel like and how did you recover?
Yeah, so burnout, that's a huge thing, especially like writer's block. I am a songwriter, and my burnout for me is that I get writer's block. Burnout can happen for school, work, even like hobbies that you have. You can kind of get blocked. And how I deal with it, I will take a step back. I won't do anything for a little bit, and I will. Nature is, like we talked about, one of those things that really helps me. So I'll surround myself in nature, go camping, go on a hike, get some fresh air, clear my mind. Um, and yeah, I think taking a break and giving yourself grace is just so important. But because you can't be 100% all the time, you can't. So realizing that and recognizing that and giving yourself grace, giving yourself space to evolve and grow is so important. And that's how I deal with burnout.
Very well said, Gabby. Very well said.
Thank you.
So, how can someone tell the difference between normal sadness or clinical depression?
Yeah, so if it lasts for a long time, I was diagnosed with depression, and mine kind of it comes in waves. It's not something that, at least for me, I can only speak on myself. Um, it was something that lasted a long time, and it didn't matter the circumstance or what I was going through. I could have everything going right in my life, and I still felt like I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't enough. I didn't feel like I was worthy. um, and that's just not true. And so I was able to get in and see a therapist and talk about how I was feeling, and I got the help that I needed.
Lucky you then. If you need help, people, please ask, do help. If you need really help. So, what coping mechanism do you turn to when you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious?
Yeah, I like to do like breathing exercises, especially when I get ready to perform on stage. I used to get really crazy stage fright, but now through practice that has helped. But coping mechanisms, just breathing like in through your nose, out through your mouth, counting to 10, literally mentally and physically taking a step back, right? Changing your environment, like we talked about earlier, can all help.
Definitely. Totally agree. Gabby, so what role does therapy or counseling play in supporting mental well being?
Yeah, I mean, counseling and therapy, there's all different kinds. There's trauma based. For someone that has PTSD, understanding triggers and traumas can play a crucial role in the the um, the therapy or counseling that one goes through. Um, yeah, I'd say so.
Awesome. Totally awesome. Gabby, so have you ever felt pressure to hide your emotions or being strong even when were struggling mentally?
Have I ever felt pressure to? Yeah, I definitely have. I think, especially being in the military, coming from that background, emotion is seen as a weakness. I think that also is also true in just everyday life. Um, yeah, we're in the military. You're taught to be very stoic. Nothing can get under your skin. And in everyday life, people are kind of like they get awkward when someone shows some kind of emotion sometimes. And I think that all just goes back to, you know, as a society, we have to get more comfortable about talking about these feelings because at the end of the day, we are all human and we all almost all feel like the same emotions, though it just might be different to some degree. Um, does that,
In
sorry, I kind of went on
yes,
a tangent. Does that,
indeed. Totally agree with you, Gabby. So, what impact does social media have on your mental health, both positive and negative?
I would say what what impact does it
Yes, yes. What impact of social media to you?
social media?
Yes, to your
Um, so I used with social media, I used to get like in my head, right, with like likes and views and all that stuff. But I think I've grown so much that it doesn't really affect me anymore. Um, but it definitely can cause people to get in their head about certain things and start to compare themselves, um,
certainly.
which is, I think comparing yourself can be good and bad. It could just give you an idea of where you are, but when you're comparing yourself to actual like other people, I mean, social media is just like a highlight reel of our lives. I mean, I write about my emotions and everything, but I'm not going to post when I'm crying. I
Yes.
that's a very vulnerable emotion and some people do. And that's awesome to be able to share that emotion, and just let people know that they're not alone.
So, Gabi, what are some warning signs that someone might be experiencing a mental health crisis?
Yeah. Again, these are just things that I have seen from friends, from myself, which is if there's a plan for suicide, and that plan could be written down or it could be like spoken. Um, and sorry, I just had a,
No worries, no worries. Go ahead. I'm gonna ask you the next question.
yeah, yeah,
How can mindfulness or meditation improve mental health?
yeah. Again, speaking for myself, it allows me to clear my mind. Um, Meditation is such a strong superpower to have that anyone can have, right? Just allowing yourself to clear your mind and be present is such a powerful thing because it changes your perspective, it changes your view.
Totally agree, Gabby. So before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, Book 101. No, Food 101. Sorry, Food 101 on each fifth season, people. Fifth season with Chef Alessandro, one of the specialist chef in one of the five-star hotel in downtown Toronto. Please do listen to our latest episode. We are reading our letter senders all over the world. So please do listen. Food 101, wherever you listen your podcast. So, Gabby, what is one thing you wish more people understood about living with mental health challenges?
Man, that's a really good question. One thing that I want people to know about living with mental illnesses is that you are not alone. There are so many people that understand and just reach out for help, talk to your friends, lean on your support system, and I can say for a fact it will get better.
Totally. Totally agree. And Gabby, can you recommend a book that you read regarding mental health awareness?
I think one that ties into it would be If I Live Until Morning. It's all about discipline and survival, and really honing in on yourself and betting on yourself.
Certainly, Gabby. Thank you so much for sharing your insight to the world or insights. So, can you please invite our listeners to support if you care to listen?
Yes. So once again, if you care to listen, is me, Gabby, a singer, brand, and movement. And yeah, you can check me out on iyctlmusic.com or iyctlmusic on Instagram and TikTok.
Yes, people, let's support Gabby because if you support this website or merchandise what he's doing, it will create more and more and more empowering music to the world. So, Gabby, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
More to come, people. See you soon.